Hello, and welcome to the weekly energy weather report with me, Irina, your spiritual life guide and energy alchemist. And this week we are preparing for a beautiful new moon solar eclipse in Libra. So let's jump right into it. Before I even get into the moon, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card just so that you know how you can make the most of this new moon solar eclipse energy. It's very exciting. As we are moving into this week, we also have Friday the 13th, and I have some fun things coming up. So keep your eyes open for events that are being posted. I have a masterclass that I'm going to be offering next week on how to develop your intuitive gifts, as well as a little fun on Friday the 13th. I've got these really cool Halloween tarot cards. They're so much fun. Great way to celebrate the season, and we're going to use them to tune in and see how you can make the most of this new moon solar eclipse. And then we'll talk more about what it is, what to expect, as well as the moon cycle this week. So placing your hand on your heart and just tuning in to your energy. What is the most important thing you know? The Hermit card. Look at this, so fun. You've got this wonderful Frankenstein character, the scientist, in the laboratory, experimenting, making a little pumpkin monster. There you go. It's very interesting because the Hermit is a card that is twofold. One is that it's saying there's been some time away, time where you've been a hermit, time where you've taken for rest and retreat. And because the moon is in this waning phase, a waning crescent, it is about recuperation, rest, preparing for the next cycle. So you're building up your energy for the next adventure. Last week we were really kind of looking through to refine, to let go. Yes, still letting go this week, but we're also preparing the soil for our new dreams. So the Hermit card, I'm going to encourage you to rest if you don't feel as much energy as normal. That can happen with a new moon. Give yourself extra time to sleep, extra time to get things done, to get to places. Don't feel like you need to push or rush things. The other thing about the Hermit card is that it acts as inspiration and a light. It is a teacher. The Hermit is the wise one who has been through the rigors. They have tested things. They have their hypothesis. Here they are in the lab. They've tried different experiments and they know what works. They are the alchemist in many ways because they've done the trial and error, and now they can show others how to save time, how to save heartache, and not go down those wild extra paths, but how to get to where their heart is really leading them. So in this rest and recuperation, you're going to find, I'm going to encourage you that there'll be opportunities to either be a light to someone else and show them a pathway, a way out, or even with the Hermit, you might find that there are times where you're being encouraged to go out. But with the new moon energy and solar eclipse, rest. So let's talk about this week leading up to the eclipse. I always go to my handy dandy Inside of the Moon journal and planner. So shiny. I love it so much. I created this because I couldn't find a journal and a planner, and I say that because there's room for planning. We use the cycles of the moon to help us plan. We use sacred practices and rituals, my Triple M signature methodology, so that you can harness the energy of the lunar cycles and stop beating yourself up. Because like this week, if you had a huge plan to go out and do a ton of errands and run a marathon and have this high energy, you might find, I just don't have the motivation for it. Why can't I ever get these things done? And you beat yourself up. And simply you say to yourself, no, this is the week before an eclipse. Of course, things are going to be a little bit wilder. We're going towards that new moon. So in the journal, what I do is you have your daily week that you can go into and you can write things. I always love the affirmations at the top that I added here. I am enough. Great reminders. There are different ones for each week. And the goal of this is, it's just a sweet little reminder as you start off your week to start off in an energetic tone and claim who you are, beautiful in your own right. Then we take into account, where is the moon? So what sign is the moon in? What is it doing? It's a waning crescent. It's getting smaller as we go to the new moon. And then we take note of our mood. How are we feeling? You pull a card for each day, and then that just gives you the insight of, okay, what is the thing that I should be looking out for? Or what's the most important thing I know? Or what can I do to make today a successful day? So the cards are merely there to help you hone your language of intuition. I've got a lot more techniques I want to share with you about that. So keep your eyes open for that master class that's coming up. And that's a free master class. Very excited to share it, because many of you have told me you want to learn how to speak the language of intuition and to develop those intuitive gifts. And I know how to share that with you. That's the Hermit, right? I'll shine the light. I can show you the trials and errors of my path so that you don't have to do that, and you can take essentially the shortcut, the sweeter path. So every week has an intention. It has the top 3 things I want to work on, the crystal of the week. So for me, I go to the month, and every month there's one specific crystal I encourage people to work with. Do they have to? No, not necessarily. You can always choose what you want. This is a dateless journal. But blue lace agate is the crystal for this month that I'm working on. And I just come here to the rituals at the front of the month. And this is, I use my voice to evoke powerful and positive change. This is a stone that helps to ease anxiety, a wonderful ally for calming nerves and opening up your throat chakra for communication. So when you have hesitated to speak up in the past and you want to find your voice and to really sing from the rooftops your heart's deepest desires, like the hermit at the top of the mountain in the traditional deck, you are being a light to others, finding your courage and your confidence. So blue lace agate is the crystal I'll work with. And I'm working with this particular sacred geometric shape, the Merkaba. So these rituals, I go into detail in the journal how to use them, but for this week, know that Leo is the moon that kicks us off, and Leo is a loving sign. They are playful, they are energetic. So they are leaders. You might find today that there's a particular way in which you want to shine. And maybe you want to spend extra time with your hair. Leos and their hair, their mane. They always have great hair, the Leo energy. Hello, Julie. So great to see you. And you said feeling this card big time in both ways for yourself and others. Yes, the Hermit card. And Ida, need to find voice. Exactly. So often we hold back, especially trusting the inner voice, that intuition deep within us. We hesitate, we second guess, we doubt. That makes sense. There's a whole big world out there that says, oh, why are you, listening to some little emotion or a little feeling or a little hint or a little nudge? We need the logics and the facts. It's a blending of both. And when you can trust your intuition, whole new world opens up. So this Leo energy that we have today, ride that wave today and tomorrow. Let me get back to the right little page here. But today and tomorrow, we've got that Leo influence. And Leo, if there's something that you needed to talk about, where maybe you needed to be in front of a group of people, or you wanted to just share your heart and your love, or a little bit of playfulness to get out and have fun, today would be the day to do it. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we start off in Leo, but then we move into Virgo. Now, the Virgo energy is wonderful for organizing, efficiency, planning. And when I say planning, think of it like systems. I want to make it more efficient. So as you get to midweek, the Wednesday and Thursday energy, knowing that we're going towards the eclipse, knowing that, okay, my energy might be a little less towards the end of the week, plan your systems. Like maybe you pack or front load your week so you get most of your work done at the beginning, so you can kick off on Friday a little early, Friday the 13th, and have some fun fall experiences. But that Virgo energy, ride that wave. If there's any business, any paperwork that hasn't been done yet, that you feel like, oh, I've been procrastinating on it, well, maybe the moon just wasn't in Virgo. A Virgo moon, I love it. I clean my whole house from top to bottom. I notice everything that's out of alignment, and I get that extra inspiration to get it back there. So that's midweek. Then as we go towards Friday, we start to go to that Libra moon. We're building up to the eclipse energy. Now, just because the eclipse is officially happening on Saturday, October the 14th, doesn't mean that it's like the one and done only window that we experience eclipse energy. The eclipse energy, we feel it 3 to 6 months coming up to it, and then the effects of it 3 to 6 months afterwards. So it's not like we just have this one moment and one little day where it's like our only window and chance, but we've been building up to this. Many of you have been feeling the effects of this eclipse. Let's just talk about eclipses in general. What are they from an energetic point of view? How can they help us? Well, it's about shaking things up so that we can find the gold nuggets. I have a whole masterclass on this called Shifting for Gold. I love it so much because the idea is that, all right, things might be okay in life. And that old phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, things are fine. It's okay. Why rock the boat? Nothing's really terrible. But it's not lighting your spirit up. It's not causing that excitement to jump out of bed in the morning. Eclipses say, let's kind of shake you out of that complacency because there's something amazing waiting for you. Now, change is always interesting. I'll use that word. And because change is interesting, you might find, I was comfortable. It might not have been great, but it was comfortable because it was familiar. So eclipses shake things up, and sometimes it kind of jars us out of this automatic routine, and it can be a bit like cold water in the face at times. So if something is shaking loose in your world, shifting, and this could be specifically, so we think so it is happening in Libra. I want you to think about Libra type energy. That can be friendships, social groups. It can be the way that you present yourself in the world. Librans are known for their diplomacy and their charm. So maybe you decide, a little bit of a makeover. Maybe you decide that you no longer are going to be in this people-pleasing phase. Libras can see things from every side, so it ends up looking like people-pleasing, but what they're doing is they're really considering, okay, this group feels this viewpoint, and this group feels this viewpoint. Oh, I can see that. Yes, I can see that. So they're taking all things into consideration. That's why they're often associated with justice or courts of law, because it's let me take into account everything from all sides before we come to a judgment or a decision. So that's why they say, don't let a Libra decide, like, where do you go to dinner? Don't ask the Libra. I always giggle because I am a Libra. So if people ask me, where do we go? I make sure I come up with a firm plan. I don't want to be going back and forth. So anyway, needless to say, this Libra full moon, you might find, especially because it's connected to the South Node, this little astro geek speak for some of you who know the astrology, it's about letting go. So you might find that certain relationships, it could be with people, it could be with a product, it could be with a health habit, it could be with an organization. This is where it's nice to know your chart or have an individualized reading. You can see where Libra shows up in the stars for you on the day you were born. And if you want to know more about that, then drop a little heart emoji in the comments and I'll reach out to you. But the thing is, when you are looking at this in a very high level perspective, I'm going to just encourage you, if something feels like it's being shaken and shifted out of your world, take a deep breath. And what I even wrote the intention for this week was let go and open to opportunities. Allow yourself to take a deep breath and say, I'm going to take this jump and I'm going to see what opens up as potential and possibility for me in this world. There are so many opportunities out there for you, and sometimes we just can't dream big enough because we're used to living in a certain kind of little framework, and eclipses are here to help open up our vision and our imagination. Imagination's a powerful thing because if we can't imagine it, we can't create it. And that's a big piece towards manifesting your dreams. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been so wonderful to have you all. Thank you, Ida, for the heart. And Dia, what a beautiful name. I'll send out a little something to you. But I want to invite you this week, take care of your energy. Don't push it. Be open to opportunities, which might mean letting go. Okay, and let's continue this conversation. If this has been helpful to you, then definitely share it with a friend. Make sure you click the like or the love and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future weather reports. All right, have an amazing day. You're welcome, Ida. You're welcome, Julie. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining live.